Ladies and gentlemen, I am just almost at a loss for words where I almost couldn't even formulate what I was wanting to say. Because we have talked about Ohio since the inception of the AFC with the Anaya Day Garrett story. And you know, that came out of Cuyahoga County, Ohio. Well, Springfield Township is another place where we've gotten a number of stories that have come out of. And I don't know why it seems like Ohio has just a horrible record for child abuse, child murders. I don't know what's going on out there. I'm just going to assume maybe it's the smog in the air. I don't know what the hell is going on out there. But there is a woman, and I think she's a mother if I'm not mistaken. This woman is accused of punching and choking her own daughter until this baby stopped breathing. Now that child is dead. The horrible scene played out in a place called Springfield Township. This comes as the area is still reeling from the death of 6-year-old James Hutchison from Butler County, which we've talked about, and also 3-year-old Nyla Miller, which we also talked about on the channel. If you've heard of those names, if you haven't seen the story, all you got to do is just search it in my channel description, type it in there, and it should come right up. Now, to add to the list, 4-year-old Nyla Miller. Let me see if I can get one of my favorite pictures of this baby on the screen, because she is just the cutest little thing, cute as a button. One of my favorite pictures of this baby is, well, really, this one. She was a little bit younger in this photo, but to me, this signifies just the most innocent, sweet baby ever. You just look into her eyes. She just has so much promise, and this baby couldn't do a thing wrong in the world. Okay? That is 4-year-old Nahla Miller, N-A-H-L-A, who lived in the home on Hudipole Lane until 9 days ago. Now, the 911 call came in at about 2 p.m. on Tuesday, April the 13th, when Tiana Robinson, who is Nyla's mother, let me see if I can get her face up on the screen. Let me see. Right here. Why does it look like this woman? Y'all see her face? Oh my God. Like, I don't know what that is on her face. And I'm going to tell y'all, makeup is the devil. I can guarantee y'all the only reason anybody probably thought she was attractive in the face, just gross. Like, it looked like somebody crunched up some cereal and just spread it across her face. Let's go back. Let's look at this for a moment. Talking about skincare, I didn't think soap cost that much. Just wash your damn face. Like, why does your face look like that? Like, this woman looks like she sleeps face first on top of the concrete. Like, she just, every day she just gets sleepy. She just face first right into the concrete. Gross. Absolutely disgusting. But that is the mother. And her name is Tiana Robinson. And she is the one who actually made the 911 call. So if y'all want to hear the 911 call, I actually will play it for you if y'all want to hear it. Let me know. But she called and said, my daughter is not responding. She just passed out. That's what the mom said, just making it seem like, oh, the baby just passed out for no reason. But y'all have watched my channel long enough. Y'all know that's BS. Yes. Huh? The 911 operator said, well, is she still breathing? Is her chest rising and falling like normal? Asking, is she breathing? The mother asked, asking a man in the room, presumably her boyfriend, by the name of Rensley Washington. Let me see if I can get his face up on the screen. This dude right here, who looks like he could be Al B. Sure's love child. Funny looking ass boy, huh? Rensley Washington. We'll come back to him here in a moment. But she asked him, is her chest rising and falling like normal? And he said no. The operator tried to talk him through the CPR process. Even with the Anaya Day Garrett story, y'all have heard, it's such a heartbreaking thing to listen to. It really is. The 911 operator told them how to do it, and she said, how long has she been like this? And the man said in the background, he said, I want to say about 3 minutes ago, ma'am, 2 minutes ago. She was just fine, and then she just passed out. Then she re-woke up. She woke up and passed out again. And then the mother said, yeah. I don't know if y'all are a fan of Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, one of my favorite movies of all time. Y'all know how the dude in jail was always trying to co-sign. You the MF I was about to carve. And the dude was like, yeah. That's what the mother did. And I promise y'all, all jokes aside, she actually did that, yeah, in the phone call. I'll play it for you if y'all want to hear it. Anyway, police say that is actually a lie, a bald-faced, black-ass lie. That's not what they said. That's what I said. But anyway, they said that the mother actually punched this baby. And y'all look at her face. There's nothing this baby could have did wrong. But the mom, for some strange reason, punched this girl several times wherever she punched her at. She punched her several times and choked this baby. Choked her until this baby stopped breathing. When they questioned her boyfriend, Washington said she fell off the scooter. You know what? I'm not the brightest crayon in the box. If I had to pick a color, I might be, a brown or maybe a navy blue, because I'm damn sure not the brightest crayon in the box. But I'm going to tell you guys, I am getting absolutely sick of these people being so lazy in their actual description as to what happened to these kids. Like, you know, something traumatic happened and you just make up some bull crap. She fell off a scooter and she died? Really? How fast was this girl going? 50 miles an hour on a scooter? Did she fall at 40, 50 miles an hour? I didn't think a human being could actually, not let alone a 4-year-old baby. I would love to hear him explain how that happened. She woke up, she passed out. She woke up and passed out again. How many times have you guys heard, let alone out of Texas, out of Ohio, how these people who are caretakers to these children continue to blame their death, which usually ends up being blunt force trauma? They always blame it on the babies. They did it. I didn't have nothing to do with it. Both of them were arrested, and Robinson was arrested for attempted murder, assault, and endangering, and Washington for obstructing justice. The little girl was put on life support. They were almost able to save this baby's life. And I have to report some very disturbing news, is that her little body just couldn't take it. And they had to pull her from life support because she no longer had brain activity. It's really, really sad. But she was taken off of life support Wednesday at Cincinnati Children's Hospital and died shortly after. They said, what are your thoughts? Local 12 asked Diane Fisher Christiana, a boxing promoter who actually represents this woman right here, who represents Mom's boyfriend, which is the clown on the right-hand side. And she said, well, it's hard to believe because he's a nice kid, and I actually just signed him to a contract, and he has a big future. So apparently that dude is a boxer. He's a boxer while the mom was practicing her boxing skills, or lack thereof, on this 4-year-old baby who she gave birth to, who she had carried through at least 9 months of labor, who she chose to lay down with the father and create this child because it's her body and her choice. She didn't have to create this child. But if you ask me, she only had this baby for the benefits that she could collect from this kid. And once she wasn't getting any more benefits from this kid, she decided to try to end this baby's life to hurt the father. Okay? That's what I truly believe. Because if you didn't love this kid that much, why not just give the father a chance? And I'm going to tell you guys, the father actually did speak up, and I'm thankful that he put out a statement. The dad would have gladly have taken custody of his baby if the mom would have just said, you know what, here you go. I don't want the little girl. You can have her and raise her. The dad would have promptly picked his baby up. But the mom didn't want that. The mom didn't want the dad to have a chance. The mom didn't want this little girl to have a future. And I'm going to show y'all this baby's face again. Let's see if I can get it up here. This little girl right here, why didn't she deserve a future? Why didn't she deserve an opportunity to grow up and become something great? I'm not going to even talk about that boxing bull crap. It's irrelevant to me. But anyway, both of them are currently in the Hamilton County Jail. Robinson is being held on $1 million bond, and the other person is being held on like a $90,000 bond. But let me show you guys the news videos, and then I'll come back and give the rest of my thoughts about this story, okay? So here we go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And again, if you guys are watching, do us a favor, hug a child and click the like. Share this baby's story because we believe that she deserves justice and she deserves to have her story told. So hug this baby and click that like button, okay? Let's get it.
Woman is accused of punching her daughter and choking her until she stopped breathing.
Now that child is dead. The horrible scene played out in Springfield Township, which is where David Winter is right now. David, another child suspected of being killed. Just the unthinkable here.
Yeah, this obviously, Paula, just happening way too often. Just last month, James Hutchinson, 6 years old, from Butler County. Then, just in December, there was Nyla Lattimore, 3 years old. He's up in Butler, in Cincinnati. And now you can add another name to that list. It's Nahla Miller. She was just 4 years old, and up until 9 days ago, she lived in this home. Her father, Nathaniel Miller, who is in no way implicated in this case, provided the photos of Nahla that you're about to see.
My daughter's not responding. She just passed out.
That's the voice of Tiana Robinson, the 25-year-old mother of Nyla Miller, on a 911 call from last week.
Is she still breathing?
I don't know.
Is her chest rising and falling like normal?
Is her chest rising and falling like normal? He said no.
The male voice is presumably Tiana's boyfriend, Rensley Washington, as the operator tries to talk him through CPR.
I want you to put the heel of one hand in the center of her chest, right between the nipples, and you're going to push down hard and fast. How long has she been like this?
I want to say 3 minutes ago now, 2 minutes ago. She was just fine, and then she passed out and woke back up and passed out again.
Yeah.
Police say that's a lie. They say Tiana...
Do y'all hear this cockamamie story? Let me back that up. Let me let y'all hear this again.
That's the voice of Tiana Robinson, the 25-year-old mother of Nyla Miller, on a 911 call from last week.
Is she still breathing?
I don't know.
Is her chest rising and falling like normal?
Is her chest rising and falling like normal? He said no.
The male voice is presumably Tiana's boyfriend, Rensley Washington, as the...
And listen to the mom when the boyfriend speaks, and the mom is like, yeah. Listen at this.
Operator tries to talk him through CPR.
I want you to put the heel of one hand in the center of her chest, right between the nipples, and you're going to push down hard and fast. How long has she been like this?
I want to say 3 minutes ago now, 2 minutes ago. She was just fine, and then she passed out and woke back up and passed out again.
Yeah.
Police say that's a lie. They say Tiana punched the girl several times and choked her until she stopped breathing. When they questioned her boyfriend, Rensley Washington, he said she fell off a scooter. Both were arrested that day, Tiana for attempted murder, assault, and endangering, Rensley for obstructing justice. The little girl taken off life support yesterday at Children's Hospital. She died shortly after. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's hard to believe.
Diane Fisher-Christiane is Rensley's promoter. He is a professional boxer.
He's a nice kid. I just signed him last year, 122-pound kid, and he has a big future in front of him.
That future now in question, and so many questions for this neighborhood.
Sad, tragic when an adult, but when it's a child, it really hurts me, because I've raised children, and abuse is something that you just never want to hear.
Now, I know some people are asking, why would the police say that their story is a lie? Well, first of all, you have to use common sense and listen at their story. They gave about 2 to 3 different accounts as to what happened. What they tried to say was the little girl had just passed out, like they don't know how it happened. Then the boyfriend came with the story about falling off of a scooter. They gave different accounts of the story, and then on top of that, when they finally got there and examined the baby, you could tell that's not what happened. And also, they do an autopsy, okay? They do an autopsy. They're always going to do that. So, and they find out really quickly as to whether the story that they gave even matches up, if that even closely makes any sense. So that's how they know.
And back here live on Hootapole Lane, I spoke with the prosecutor's office this afternoon. They're waiting to get a final report from the coroner as to the exact cause of death before seeking a murder charge from the grand jury. I also just...
And I can almost guarantee y'all they're going to get blunt force trauma, which is intentional. That is going to get them a murder charge.
I IM'd with young Nala's father via Facebook.
Oh, and also, to answer your question, you're saying, did the boxer punch the baby? Well, I don't know that he didn't, but what I do know is that the mom admitted to hitting the baby. The mom admitted to punching her. So you can quote me for saying that. The mom, based on what I read, admitted to punching her own child.
And he said to me, incidentally, wanted to make clear that he is, again, in no way involved in this criminal case. He said, I would never have expected anything like this. I'm truly hurt, and words cannot explain my pain.
911 location of your emergency.
Yes, my daughter's not responding. She just passed out.
On the phone seems to be a frantic mother calling for help for her daughter who's unresponsive.
How long has she been like this?
It was just, I want to say 3 minutes ago, ma'am, 2 minutes ago. She was just fine, and then she passed out and re-woke back up and passed out again.
Yeah.
According to Springfield...
Re-woke back up. I've never even heard nobody say that before. She re-woke back up. Like, what?
Township Police, the woman on the phone, 25-year-old Tiana Robinson, was the cause of her daughter not breathing.
From about 12:45 till about 5:30, Springfield Township was lined all up and down the street, and they stayed there about 6 hours.
Police responded to this home on Hootapole Lane where Nala, her mother, and her mother's boyfriend, Rensley Washington, live. The call was for a 4-year-old not breathing.
Does she have some sort of like seizure disorder or anything like that?
I'm not sure. She's done this this is like her 3rd time doing it now.
See? So if you listen to the news videos. The mom said this is like her 3rd time doing this. They're giving accounts of this while they're being recorded. And then they told the police something different.
Have some sort of like seizure disorder or anything like that?
I'm not sure. She's done this this is like her 3rd time doing it now.
Documents say Robinson punched the 4-year-old child before choking her until she stopped breathing. According to court documents, Washington was one of the child's caretakers and observed prolonged physical abuse resulting in serious harm to the 4-year-old child in addition to malnutrition. Robinson and Washington were arrested. The girl's mother charged with 2 counts of felony assault, the mother's boyfriend with endangering children and obstructing justice. In messages, Nala's father tells me Nala loved Disney movies and her dog Cookie. He says she didn't deserve to die the way she did.
Just a sweet face there. Well, Robinson and Washington are likely to face additional charges in wake of the 4-year-old's death. Robinson remains jailed on a $1 million bond. Ashley Kirkland, WLWT News 5.
This is the way little Nyla Miller will always be remembered. A playful, happy 4-year-old. She loved Disney movies and her dog Cookie. But last Tuesday, Nala's life took a turn she wasn't able to recover from.
How long has she been like this?
It was just, I want to say 3 minutes ago, ma'am, 2 minutes ago. She was just fine, and then she passed out.
Listen at their voices. Do they sound like they're in a panic at all? Listen at their voices. Listen at the tone of their voices. Listen at the concern in their voice.
and woke back up and passed out again.
Police say Nala's mother, 25-year-old Tiana Robinson, punched her multiple times before strangling her inside this house on Hudipole Lane. Robinson's boyfriend, Rensley Washington, also in police custody. Nala's father, too shocked and shaken to speak on camera, did tell us this. She was the sweetest little girl. She was just loved so much. There isn't more you could ask for in a child. I'm just broken. This latest incident marking yet another child lost in our area in recent months. A 13-year-old stabbed to death earlier this week, and the bodies of 6-year-old James Hutchinson and 3-year-old Nyla Lattimore.
Did y'all see these two?
And the bodies of...
We did these two stories, so if y'all haven't seen these, you can look them up on the channel. But we did these two stories also.
6-year-old James Hutchinson and 3-year-old Nyla Lattimore, still nowhere to be found.
We need to lay these babies to rest. We know that they're spiritual with God and God has them right now, but for peace and for closure and just for our families right now, we need this.
Meanwhile, neighbors in Springfield Township tell us the home has been a trouble spot before.
Police being called up there all the time.
Y'all hear that? That's one thing I almost forgot to talk about. The police have been to this house often for trouble issues. I'm not sure exactly what that meant. I would like for them to describe whether they mean for CPS, were there complaints against them fighting with each other, hurting a little girl. I would have liked to have known specifically what that means.
All neighbors in Springfield Township tell us the home has been a trouble spot before.
Listen at this.
Police being called up there all the time.
After Nala was rushed to the hospital, doctors at Children's saw signs of prolonged abuse and malnourishment.
A 4-year-old mother and her boyfriend are accused of killing a 4-year-old girl.
Joanna Boris live now with breaking details on this case.
4-year-old Nyla Miller's father tells me he's too upset to talk on camera, but says his little girl was a sweetheart and her favorite movie is Frozen. He and neighbors tell me that they never expected something so horrific could happen to her. This is 4-year-old Nyla Miller. Her father says her favorite movie was Frozen. Today, the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office indicted Miller's mother, Tiana Robinson, for attempted murder, child endangerment, and 2 counts of felonious assault. Court documents show Robinson admitted last Tuesday she repeatedly beat and strangled Nyla until she stopped breathing on Hudipole Road in Springfield Township.
Devastated. Never heard of anything. Been up here at least 30 years, and we've never had anything to happen like that on this street.
The prosecutor's office says no.
And guess, I forgot about that part too. They said that the baby appeared to be malnourished, so they could have potentially been starving her also. So bookmark that. They've been starving her, and the police were called out multiple times in the past. We'll come back to that.
Nyla was taken to Cincinnati Children's Hospital and put on life support, but she died yesterday. The coroner's office says it's waiting on her autopsy results to determine what caused her death.
They had to be kind of hurting themselves. They had to hurt on the inside, you know, to do that. There's nothing that could make me just beat anybody, like I said, let alone a child. I have a 4-year-old, and I love her to death, and no. Could never do that. You discipline, but you don't abuse.
The prosecutor's office says Robinson didn't act alone. Her boyfriend, Rensley Washington, is being indicted with endangering children and obstructing justice.
So for people who say I don't get my information right, you're looking at the actual numbers and charges right there on the screen. So this is stuff you can actually look up.
The prosecutor's office saying he lied to investigators, claiming Nyla got hurt falling off of her scooter.
I definitely wouldn't want to know anybody as heartless as the people across the street, knowing what they did.
Robinson is being held at the Hamilton County Justice Center. Her bail is set at $1 million. Washington's bond is set at $90,000. I'm live in Springfield Township. Joanna Boris, Fox 19 Now. We'll be right back.
This is the way little Nahla Miller will always be remembered. A playful, happy 4-year-old. She loved Disney movies and her dog Cookie. But last Tuesday, Nahla's life took a turn she wasn't able to recover from.
How long has she been like this?
It was just, I want to say 3 minutes ago, ma'am, 2 minutes ago. She was just fine, and then she passed out and woke back up and passed out again.
Police say Nahla's mother, 25-year-old Tiana Robinson, punched her multiple times before strangling her inside this house on Hudapole Lane. Robinson's boyfriend, Rensley Washington, also in police custody. Nahla's father, too shocked and shaken to speak on camera, did tell us this. She was the sweetest little girl. She was just loved so much. There isn't more you could ask for in a child. I'm just broken. This latest incident marking yet another child lost in our area in recent months. A 13-year-old stabbed to death.
And let me tell you guys this as I give my closing thoughts. And I always think about my daughter when she was this age. And it's just, they just can't do anything wrong. Like, I just think that I'm just enamored with children and babies, and especially little girls. So I always knew that when I had a baby, I was going to have a daughter. And I love my daughter, and shout out to her. To watch her go from being like a 4-year-old and 5-year-old baby to watch where she is now, being a teenager. It's just, time flies so quickly. And I treasure all of those moments and all of those years. And I just think that this father in this story deserved an opportunity to watch his baby grow up the same way that I did. His baby deserved a chance. If the mom did not want to properly take care of this child, which clearly she did not, I want y'all to remember, the mother admitted to punching and choking the baby, because they would have been able to prove that by way of evidence anyway, but she admitted it. So I'm glad that they charged her accordingly, but we'll get more charges once the autopsy comes in. There will more than likely be some level of a murder charge that also follows, okay? As far as the boyfriend's participation, we're not exactly sure, but the fact that we have him on tape lying, and let me be clear when I say this, if we find out that there is some type of child abuse, mishandling, any type of violence towards a child, and we find out that the details that you or anybody else gave us lied about it, I think we should have laws on the books to be able to give you jail time for lying about the details, intentionally lying about the details of what happened about a child, especially when we find just overwhelming evidence to prove that that's not accurate. So I hope that they also throw the book at the boyfriend as well. There is absolutely no way that he didn't know this was going on. As far as the dad, we haven't heard as far as from him how much access he had to his daughter, how often he saw his daughter. But with the mom having custody, mothers in a lot of these cases, it's not all, but the majority of them have the ability to choose, to pick and choose when the dad is able to see those kids. So we really don't know how much time he had, how many months he didn't get to see his daughter. We don't know, but we do know that he came out and spoke out. So I'm thankful for that. And we want the dad to know that we're praying for him. But also, let me say this, because there is one small thing I did forget. But we're going to talk about this. So this goes out to all parents, to anybody who decides to lay down and procreate and make these children. They can't speak for themselves. They cannot defend themselves. They cannot make the choices. You choose to bring them into this world. Therefore, you should be responsible as a parent for taking care of their life insurance. All human beings should have life insurance. If you're too damn cheap, if your budget is too messed up, if you can't afford life insurance, then you shouldn't be a parent. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be. If you have to go and put up a GoFundMe to supplement for life insurance, and I hope the father won't take offense to this, but I'm speaking further than this story. I talk about all stories this way, so please don't take offense. We all, as family and mothers and fathers, should be able to take care of our own final expenses. Nobody knows the day or the hour that we will pass away. Therefore, we should always have this set up. Just like you get into a car, you don't know if you're about to get into a car accident, but you're required to have car insurance. We shouldn't have to make this where you're forced to have life insurance, but you should have it, okay? But nonetheless, they did put up crowdfunding. I'm going to make this bigger so y'all can see it. Whoever is asking for this, it says Nathaniel Miller. I don't know if that's the dad. I think that might be the biological father, and I know he might not like me saying this, but they're asking for $20K. 20,000. 20,000. And not a single dime is coming from any family member to be able to give this baby a funeral. 20,000. Go to GerberLife.com. Get you some quotes. It don't cost that much to even cover for an amount like 20,000, but to just hope that the world hears your story and hope that people feel sad enough. So I want y'all to think about this. For those of y'all who think it's okay to put up a GoFundMe, I want y'all to think about this. What about the one or two stories like this that will get the funding because they got the media attention? What about the hundreds, if not thousands, of those who also suffer similar situations like this, like what this baby had to go through? And nobody hears their story. They don't get any GoFundMe money. They put up a $5,000 GoFundMe, they get $3 or $4. They get $200 or $300. Some of them get zero. Because they are not planning. This is not planning, hoping that society will pick up the bill. There's too many people that are trying to have these final expenses paid, and they end up being in debt because they don't have a plan. That's not smart for any way of living. But let me say this. This mother starved her own child. Her face looked like it's starving for a bath. That is a horrible face. Look like somebody took rubber bullets from a shotgun and just blasted her in the face. That is a horrible looking woman. I'm sorry, but it is. She starved this baby, beat this baby, and choked her. Probably to smite the father, to hurt the dad. She didn't love that child. She never did. That's why she only had that child for the benefits that she can get off of that baby. And once those benefits stopped, then she decided to take it out on the kid. We believe that babies' lives matter, and we have to start speaking out. If you see something, say something. Clearly, the neighbors did, because if they heard something, they always called the police. The police, CPS, I don't know who was out there, but they were always coming to this house in particular because something was wrong. I feel like the community did their job. The community did their job. Family and friends did their job. At the end of the day, the responsibility of the protection doesn't fall on the police. It doesn't fall on CPS. It falls on mother, biological mother, and biological father. At the end of the day, if we start thinking more deeply about how we are bringing children into this world, we are just literally getting to these willy-nilly relationships, having sex, and making babies with no plan of action for how to raise them. As men, we need to stop and put our seeds up. We could end this as men. So let me get on to the men for a moment. All of this extra stuff that's going on right now can end if we just stop recklessly procreating and put our seeds away. Because with no seed, there is no fruit to bear. For those mothers who have already taken the seed and accepted the seed from a man, you also have a choice as well between abstinence, between condoms, between day after pills, during pills, early term abortion, late term. Like there are a number of options. Even the Safe Haven Act is available in every single state. Even after you have the kid, you could have given the kid up to adoption, or you could have just given this baby to the dad, which clearly he loves his kid. But she didn't want to do that. She wanted to hurt him. So what I'm saying, it's not on men or women. It's up to both of us. We need to stop pointing the finger at everybody else and start pointing the finger at us. That's when we will start to get change. Take care of us. Think about these babies first and put these babies first. I hope that dude and that woman right there, Crater Face and I'll Be Sure's love child, I hope they go to jail. And not only that, after they get out of jail, I hope they go straight to hell. Okay? To this baby, and let me get my favorite picture of her. That's probably one of my favorites right there. To 4-year-old Nyla Miller, young princess, R.I.P. R.I.P. I'm DJ Just Jay, and we're going to continue to speak for our babies and hopefully turn the tide in this war for our children, okay? Thank y'all so much for listening with an open mind and an open heart. Thank you.